Good morning, and welcome to Life Examined. This is a show for images. It's a photography based show, as I am a photographer, something that I've done for the last 20 years or so. And in it, we will examine life, we will examine circumstances, we will examine the human condition, and all in the name of improvement, human improvement, life improvement, and progress. Let us begin. I hope that you've had a chance to make your bed. Hope that you've had a chance to get your first glass of water in. It is a little bit past 4:30 a.m. here, East Coast of the United States. Let's get started. If you don't understand the text message that was sent to you, it's most likely that the person sending you the message used speech to text, and for some reason they typed dog when you meant floor, or they typed bed when you meant red. Keep that in mind when trying to decipher the cryptic message that you were just sent by your close friend, colleague, or family member. Let's continue. Every man, ladies, that you are with, I said every man that you are with, has a plan of action under different circumstances in case things were to go awry. If someone were to come into the store shooting, if the car were to fall into the water, if someone were trying to mug you in the middle of the street, every man has a plan of action. Even if it might fail, there's a plan of action that it's just going to take a couple of seconds to implement. Please don't take that for granted. Plan of action. Every man has one. Take notes, take careful notes wherever you go. Carry a notebook, carry a pen. If you carry a pen, make sure that you have ink in that pen. If you carry pencils, make sure that you carry a sharpener, something that's becoming obsolete as I speak. Take notes, and after you take those notes, go over it. See if it works in your life. Don't trust memory alone to remember the great ideas that you might have, that you will have at 4:30 in the morning. A time of day that it's beautiful to be awake, not only because you woke up, but because everything seems calm, everything seems peaceful with the world. If you have a time in your life in which you feel stuck, I invite you to wake up a little earlier, change your routine. Maybe your clock, your internal clock, is set to another time of the day. Maybe you have to wake up 2 hours earlier before you go in to your job, or before you have that meeting, or before you meet with anyone. Always save a little bit of time to yourself to get ready. Have a plan of action even when it comes to your life, even if it's just making your bed to start with. Humans tend to work better with lists and checking things off as they go along, as a sign, as a pattern, as a way to start something, because of the feeling of accomplishment you get when you cross things off your list, feeling of completion. It'll create momentum. Try it, and then tell me how it works for you. These are things that I have observed This is a photography show. This is an images show. But who's to say that you, as a person, cannot pick something up from it? If you want to create a revolution within yourself, know when to tune in and when to tune out. The greatest revolution that you might create within your home, inside your home, is turning off the news, turning off the TV, creating a space where your mind can operate without the influence of external voices. Programming, careful programming. What are you being shown? What can your mind deal with consciously and subconsciously? What will you let in? You keep the bad guys outside your home, but sometimes you invite them in by turning on the wrong type of programs. Learn how to tune out, learn how to tune in. A poll was conducted. 2,000 people took part of this poll of things that they were looking forward to. The high percentage of people polled said the thing that they were looking forward to was money. I believe it was a 41%. 42% said love as a second thing they were looking forward to. The third thing people were looking forward to was vacation time. And then at the end, there was a tie between things that people were looking forward to, between work and growing up. And I believe it was 4% tie between both of those things. Rent and bills are a small price to pay for independence. How much is your peace of mind worth? How much is living with the wrong person taking away, subtracting from your life, subtracting from your well-being, subtracting from your overall health? Independence. Don't give mosquitoes all the credit. Those bites that you might have all over your body might be from a spider. They're just a little quieter than mosquitoes, but they'll make you itch just as much. Don't give mosquitoes all the credit. You stayed up late last night to watch a sports series. First game, the last game, the middle game, the decisive game. And now you're groggy. You went to sleep at 2 a.m. and you had to be up before 6. If your team loses, you might think that that was time wasted. If your team wins, boy, was that a good time. What a memory to have with me for the rest of my life. What a great game. Now I have something to talk to my coworkers about. What side do you fall on? Or are these games important at all? If you want to be a better speaker, practice speaking. If you want to be a better note taker, practice taking notes. If you want to be a better cook, practice cooking. If you want to be a better person, a person of action, someone who takes action, then take small actions like making your bed, making yourself something to eat, drinking some water, making your bed, and doing small things that you can add to a list and cross them off. Notice that if you tell someone the way to do something big is to do something big, they shy themselves. It's almost like we're programmed to work with what we can see, with the tangible. And if we're able to accomplish small things, the hope is that it will leak onto the bigger things within our life. Try it. That's what I observed. See if it works within your life. If you ever go away on vacation and you come back to a city where your airport is Philadelphia International Airport, we'll use that as an example. There's always a sign that tells you that you're back in your city. There's always a sign to tell you that vacation is over. It could be people fighting on the phone. It can be the first person that comes up to your window to beg you for money. It also tells you what kind of governance is happening over your city if you live in a city. Some of you watching this might think, why would anybody want to live in a city? But there's always those clues, those signs that tell you that you are back. The sign the last time I went away it came in the form of a bumper sticker, minivan, green minivan that was parked in front of me that read, "You just got passed by a girl. I am a queen." Interesting. You're back. How soon will you leave again? Can you ever leave? Everyone looks guilty when you're hearing the side of the story of the person that's in front of you. And then you will have the reaction of, yes, I understand. Oh, how could that happen to you? Oh, that person is crazy. I can't believe that happened to you. Until you hear the other person's side of the story. And now you have the same result within your mind. That person is crazy. The other person is crazy. How could that person ever do that to you? That's why it's a horrible job deciding who is right, who is telling you the truth, and who is not. Both people, most people, will be their best lawyer in any given situation and will give you their side of the story. But it takes a real sign of maturity to understand someone else's side of the story and work with it. Will you go back to Twitter if free speech is no longer an option, is now the norm? Or does that repel you? Or was Twitter never a part of your life? Are you attracted to free speech? Does free speech need rules? Does free speech need responsibility? Just some observations that I have seen over the last few weeks. Will you go on that Bluebird service now that free speech is supposedly going to be allowed and not curbed, at least for the time being? A lot of the news that you're hearing is based off of speculation. Will you go back? Did you leave, or were you put out because of it? And what voices will you be welcoming? Or will you be happy to see that they will be returning to the platform? And where do you fall in to the whole topic of free speech? Is free speech something that you should have? Is it something that you should be fired for? Is it something that should be considered for employment? Is it something that it is to be used responsible, or is it something that is just to be left open and up to the discretion of the person using it, and other people should not be judging them for it? Can you stop someone else from judging someone who is exercising their free speech? Or is it something that you put out there and then it's up to you to decide if you want to be around that person or not? Are you a free listener? Are you an open listener? Where do you fall within this whole topic? Dating sites. Speaking of open-mindedness, are flooded with these 3 lines or phrases. She will say, I am a work in progress. If you had $1 for every time you've heard that, you would probably be a very rich person. I am a work in progress. My relationship status is currently complicated. Did they complicate it, or are they giving someone else credit for complicating them? Does that attract you, or does that repel you from that person's page when you hear it? Work in progress. Things are complicated. And the other one, I am not looking for sex. Just imagine, how attractive are those things, those phrases, those words when you hear them on a dating site? I guess the close fourth would be, my children come first, or my dog comes first. You will have to find yourself fitting in somewhere in between all these people or things. If you had $1 for every time you've seen these phrases. Do people still do dating sites in 2022? Try this. I am on this site for more sex. If you need help getting out of a place that you don't want to be in, not because of any other reason except that you feel that you've fallen off a certain balance, perhaps daylight savings time is affecting your mood in some way, develop a routine. A routine could look like this. Get up early, go to the gym, read some books outside of your comfort zone, whether it's finance, whether it's exercise, whether it's health, whether it's biography on someone living or dead, preferably dead, and going to sleep early, perhaps taking a walk during your day, getting more exercise in, and limiting your news, limiting your intake of bad news from your surroundings, limiting your time with people that are demanding more of your time but are bringing you little results in terms of positivity, in terms of wanting something better for their life. Consider it. Routine. Develop a routine and then stick to it. If you want better results or a better life, consider these things next. These are just based off of images and observations and conversations I've had with people like you. Develop, learn from everyone, and then develop and learn a new skill, a new trade, something that you can do and someone will pay you money for. But not only that, but something that will engage your brain in a positive way, in a cognitive way, to make yourself stronger. This is advice that you can use at 5, and advice that you can use at 85. Try it. And if it doesn't work, just say it didn't work for me. Or perhaps create a video as to what worked for you. I don't want to be your only person, the only person speaking to you. You learn from everyone. And if you ever grow tired of this broadcast, feel free to go and learn from someone else. I am not one that will tell you this is the only voice that I want listening. I want listening to. No, there's a lot of people with great information. Learn from everyone, even from someone who you dislike. You can learn from, but you will come to understand that within your own maturity. Faith without action is just delusion. It's just fluff. It's just waiting for someone else to do the job for you. Faith is an active thing. It's not passive. You have to jump up to let gravity work. You have to be able to apply for that new position to see if you'll get it. You have to show up for the interview to see if they want you. You have to create a position to see if it will work. You have to create a new job to see if it's something you are good at, to see if you want to do it. Create it, do it, experiment, take notes, and see if it works for you. Listen to other people's stories about how it didn't work for them, but then still go about it in a way that perhaps they did not. Don't reinvent the wheel. Why not? Why not? Faith without action is delusion. Clickbait. It's not just on a computer, it's everywhere. And it's all about attention. How much attention will you give to this advertisement? And advertisements come in a lot of different ways. Here's an ad while you're scrolling through your favorite news platforms: CNN, Newsmax, New York Post, Epoch Times, whatever, wherever you get your news from, National Geographic. Then all of a sudden you see an ad that says, a woman develops supernatural strength and lifts a car off her toddler. But once you click on it, you'll see it's a series of 40 slides. And the first 5 slides you scroll through, or the first 2 or 3 slides you scroll through, you realize it's just advertisements or just sensational stories in the middle of one picture that's just going to lead you to the next. Learn to recognize time wasters, whether it's online on a site that's just showing you a whole bunch of pictures that you can just Google and find how that same woman developed supernatural strength to lift the car off her toddler, instead of having to scroll through endless advertisements and things that you don't want to get to the things that you were interested in. Whether it's clickbait online or whether it's a dating site where someone is saying, I am complicated. If you're just looking for sex, go somewhere else. If you are not interested in my dog, go somewhere else. Notice the time wasters as soon as you get there. In the first few clicks, they usually leave signs so you can follow them back to the gingerbread house. Learn to pick up the signs, even in your own life. If you need more energy, you need more exercise. If you need more energy, you need to limit your negative thoughts. Perhaps the music you listen to is all negative. Perhaps the people you're hanging around are not supportive of you. Perhaps you are pleasing everyone else in your life, but not yourself. Perhaps the person closest to you does not like you or love you as much as you think they do. Now, the quicker you realize this, the quicker you can let it bother you a little bit and move on. You make your own changes. Don't make it 40 slides later when you realize, hey, this is just clickbait. You must love my dog. If you are still alive, you still have an opportunity to live. Don't let people tell you, or motivational speakers tell you, because you are 50 years old and haven't been a millionaire by 20 years old or 25 years old, and you're surrounded by the most beautiful women or the most expensive cars, or traveling to the most luxurious places, that you are a failure. If you think about those in those terms of success and failure, then you are, in a way, putting yourself in a box that you don't need to be in. You can measure your own success about in your own life and keep track of the things that you need to do and analyze your progress in your own life without comparing it to someone else's luxurious private plane. What makes you happy, you get to decide. If you build a cage around you, eventually you will be the one holding the keys, but the one not knowing how to get out of a situation that you might not want to be in. Everything that looks good from the outside might not feel good from the inside. Never wish that you were someone else. Learn from everybody and go take on the day. Thank you for being here with me this morning. I hope that your day, I hope you're working towards a better day. Bye.